for his 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Chair Khan, my questions concern the recently finalized CARS rule. And if this is a duplicate, please forgive us because we've got, some of us have competing committees today, okay? The FTC's website states the primary purpose of the CARS rule is to add truth and transparency to the car buying and leasing process. However, it's my understanding that your contention that this rule also sweeps in regulation of heavy truck dealers who sell business to business. Heavy-duty truck dealers retail cement mixers, garbage trucks, and the like. These vehicles cost hundreds of thousands of dollars and are not bought by consumers, as they are not consumer products. So my question is it fair? And is that accurate? Is that your intention? And is it fair for heavy-duty truck dealers to bear the regulatory costs of the CARS rule?
Thanks for the question. And I'll just note, we pursued this rule after a decade of enforcement and finding that unfortunately all too often people were getting.
Well, it's there, and so I'm asking the question. So, and I don't have much time, so please.
So as a general matter, the CARS rule applies. We're happy to look into whether it applies to some of these more specific types of vehicles, but the bread and butter is really regular auto dealers that are selling cars.
So you're not saying that this is absolutely going to encompass truck transactions?
I'd want to double check with our team.
Okay, thank you. The website for the FTC states that the new requirements mandated by the CARS rule are already business as usual for honest dealers. You've also stated that the purpose of the CARS rule is merely to stop bait and switch tactics and junk fees. Aside from the fact that bait and switch tactics and fees are for products that have no value are already illegal, I'm curious as to why the FTC never mentions the rest of the rule's numerous requirements. For example, record-keeping requirements that mandate a dealer capture and store for 2 years every text from every customer they sell a vehicle to, no matter how trivial or risk, being fined up to $51,744 per violation. So, and there's other things, but to save time, wouldn't it make more sense to focus on pursuing the bad actors instead of making these broad mandates?
We've tried a strategy that just focused on the bad actors, and unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Thousands and thousands of Americans complain to us every year about getting tricked at the auto dealer. As you know, this is one of the biggest purchases people make. On this record-keeping issue, the proposed rule had actually contemplated requiring auto dealers to actually maintain greater records. In the final rule, we've really slimmed it down to just focus on instances in which auto dealers would want to be able to verify, right? What we don't want is
$24.1 billion and an additional 60 to 80 minutes to the car buying process. Is that slimming it down?
Compared to what initially was proposed, but just to be clear, ultimately we don't want auto dealers to be levied with an accusation and for them not to be able to substantiate their side of the story. And so the record-keeping requirements are focused on protecting the auto dealers to make sure that they're able to verify what their claims might be.
I'm just going back. $24.1 billion is the estimate of the cost. 60, 80 minutes to the car buying process. And the mandate to store and capture 2 years of every text from a customer they sell a vehicle to, no matter what.
So as you know, a lot of rules both include costs but also benefits, and the benefits here we estimate would be $3.4 billion to the American public.
Okay, well that's doesn't really match the $24.1 billion cost, so I might just point that out. You noted in last year's questions, for the record, that car prices have contributed significantly to inflation. But there's also inflationary impact of the regulatory costs that government imposes on small business. For example, a CARS rule acknowledges that it will cost over $1 billion. A study for the Center of Automotive Research points out the $24.1 billion cost. Every small business owner knows someone must pay for all the new disclosures, record keeping, and so on and so forth. So, Ms. Khan, I'm out of time, but I would just encourage you to take a look at this. The cost and the imposition on the dealers is making this very, very difficult. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you. Thank you.